Welcome, everyone, to our newest edition of Real Talk, where we put the real in real estate. And we've got the real deal with us tonight. That is our esteemed chairman of Texas Realtors, Marcus Phipps, who is also with Harlingen Homes. Marcus, thank you for joining us this evening.
It's my pleasure to be here, Ashley.
I didn't realize when I asked you to do it this evening that it was Fat Tuesday. So I apologize in advance if you had margaritas or drinks on the brain, but I did say that this was cocktail hour friendly. So yes, so we should be good. Good.
Cheers to you.
Cheers. Yes, absolutely. Mardi Gras. All right. Now that we got that out of the way.
Hey, everyone.
Yes. And hopefully our guests that have joined us this evening are enjoying a drink, kicking back and relaxing, and will come along for the ride, ask us real-time questions. And of course, we will answer to the best of our abilities. Look at that. We even spiffied up your title right there. Chairman, Texas Realtors. Marcus, there are a lot of people that might not know a lot about you. They might see your face in our realtor publications and all over Facebook and our newsletters, but who are you and how did you even get here for the first part?
Wow.
Yes.
How did I get here?
How did you get here?
Who am I? I am a recovering teacher, and I'm still trying to decide what I want to be when I grow up.
I love it.
But I hope you had a chance to read the magazine article, because it really did talk about the true me. They did a great job with that article. But I live in Harlingen, Texas. I own my own real estate company. As you saw earlier, that is Harlingen Homes. I have 9 agents who work with me, all women, so pray for me. But we have a wonderful family relationship here within the office. Been married to my wife, Lisa, for almost 30 years, and we have 3 sons, and 1's still at home and 2 are out. We now have a daughter-in-law as well. Super excited about that. I got into leadership roles back when I first started in the business. I served on my local board's MLS committee. Everything starts at the local level.
Absolutely.
Some of you who are and have been in real estate for a while may remember books. And when I was chairman of the MLS committee, we still had books. And I helped our local association transition from the books to an online platform to do away with the books. So that's it's been a lot of years. That was 1996 when I got started.
I was about to say, Marcus, believe it or not, there were still books when I started in the business. And
wow.
So I know I'm only like 12.
Right?
So,
How long have you been in the business?
Going on 20 years.
20 years. Okay.
Yeah. So no, and it was one of those things where a second generation realtor who was told not to get her license when she legally could and stubbornly did. So it's worked out, I think,
Of course you did. Why not?
That's what we do. So yes, I interrupted you there on a little bit, but what did that look like? So beyond the MLS, you caught the bug at the local level, just being, pounding the pavement there.
Absolutely. And I've been a giver forever, and I give away way more time than I ever spend working. But I, served on my local board, served as local board president in 2012, got recycled again in 2020. And in the middle of all that, so I was on the leadership team and serving as local president during the pandemic. That was a blast.
So many fond memories, right?
That's right. But, my journey with Texas Realtors actually began on a policy committee where I engaged because I had something that I really cared about, still do. Hopefully we're going to get that taken care of this year. That was 10 years ago.
Things don't always move as fast as we'd like them. This is
exactly.
Even from the chairman of Texas is still pushing strong. So
still pushing strong. I want that policy point taken care of this year. I looked at my RVP who was retiring, my regional vice president. You have like 7 there in the Metro Tex Association. And as his term was ending, I just said, what does this look like? And I took over when he fell out and became ideally what your regional vice president should look like. and wound up literally writing the book for regional vice presidents, especially for regional vice presidents of multi-board regions. You have 7 who serve just your region, Region 12. I had 11 local associations across 350 miles in my region.
Wow.
And it was it was a blast to serve. And that's where people took notice. Hey, who's this Marcus guy? And here I am 7-8 years later serving as your Texas Realtors chairman. So that's been the journey.
Well, that's huge. And we appreciate that. And I think a lot of our leaders who, we had the rubber chicken moments during COVID, and those were very interesting times, local, state, national levels. And we're all still here. We might have an extra cocktail or 2 at times.
That's right.
But we survived. And I think that's amazing to hear that part of the story, that your local board needed you in 2020, and you still rose to the occasion. So,
and I still go to my local board meetings when I can, by the way.
That's fantastic.
I'm an ex officio member. And from the Rio Grande Valley, it's sort of a neat fact. I am the first chairman or state president from the Rio Grande Valley since 1966.
Wow.
57 years. And that's not just Harlingen. That's McAllen, Brownsville, South Padre Island, the works. 57 years since someone from down here has chaired Texas Realtors. So.
Well, fantastic. I really enjoyed going to your installation too, because what was it? What was the theme? Was it resort?
It was a resort formal.
I will tell you, we had a lot of text chains going on around locally going, what is resort formal? And they're like, if you went to a beach wedding or something else. I'm like, I don't go to beach weddings. I mean, what is this? What is this? Okay. So it was a lot of fun because it even pushed us out of our comfort zones to kind of meet you guys where you were. So that was a fun time. And I appreciate that.
That was a good time.
It was a good time. Okay, well, let's talk about what your vision. I mean, we always talk about it. It's not just your vision. It's the association's vision. It's your leadership team's vision. I'm on the local leadership team as well. And, so what does that look like? The vision as a whole that we can continue to see and hopefully help carry and move forward as well.
Yeah. So serving in this capacity, my huge things that I've talked about a lot are authenticity, honesty, transparency. And that's not just within your local association, but across those association lines where we tend to have conflict from time to time. And the thing that I have found in life and in leadership is the more you tell the truth, the better your results are. And when people hide their agendas from one another, when they don't bring everything to the table, you wind up getting mad, you wind up getting hurt, and you pull away from the table. So I'm all about authenticity, honesty, transparency, bringing it all to the table. I want people to work together. I want us to work together with you, your local association leadership. We have 71 local associations across the state. We want them all engaged. We want them all talking to us, and just to like one another and respect one another, and to work together for the good of Texas Realtors, all 153,000 plus Realtor members that we have.
What was that total?
153,000 plus. We are still, believe it or not, we are still processing annual dues renewals.
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly what that number is and what our attrition rate is going to look like from last year, but we're getting there.
You know what? I want to put a plug in on that, because I know that's a hot topic right now. What's going on, with the member count in different areas. I think Texas as a whole is one of the strongest states. But even for us, just looking at our membership count from the end of December to January, and then historically looking at that from the last 7 years, we had the same historical drop, end of year dues billing. And in fact, our percentage was probably less than last year's or the year before. So that was at least encouraging, because we've had a market recalibration over the past few months. It didn't just happen overnight. So hopefully we're going to be able to continue to stay strong, unlike some of these other states around the nation that have already seen some larger membership count drops.
Right. And we won't know that number from a state perspective until we're through processing all that we have. We do expect a little bit of attrition, but not a whole lot. You look back, a third of our membership in Texas Realtors have joined since the pandemic. So you're talking in the last 4 years. Anyone who is new and in the licensing stages probably has at least one more year left on their license before they have to renew. So we probably have another full year of due cycles coming through from any of those folks. We're losing some of the older, more seasoned realtors who are just saying, I'm done with this. I can't compete in this market, because let's face it, it's challenging. A lot of people don't want to chase the listing and to try and chase a buyer through a market that's a frenzy, especially in the hotbeds of the state like Austin, where it's nearly impossible still to buy a house. So we'll see some attrition, but we do expect in this year to hit our membership target number, which was 156,000 members.
Awesome. Fantastic. Woohoo, goals. We always have to have, and then reevaluate them midstream. But I think that's great. So 156,000 is the goal. I think we're going to be there.
Right.
Okay. Well, jumping in, because our last Real Talk was definitely really meaty on policy. We're in a legislative session right now, which Danny Hardman, who is one of our leasing and property management guys, he's been on the board for years, and he's just such a champion for that side of the industry. And like he said, he was nerding out reading all the bills that were coming through. And so he was more focusing on the ones that were more specific on the leasing and property management side. But that was something that we got a lot of commentary and feedback on. It was great to actually understand and have a little bit of commentary on what those look like. So again, we're in a legislative session, if those of you who are watching don't know. And there's some interesting things that we've got our eyes on at the moment. So, hey, what is this HOA 2.0?
HOA 2.0. So our policy stuff that we have coming out this year in 2021, which is the 87th legislative session for Texas, we had huge HOA reform that passed. That was our banner bill for that legislative session that brought about a lot of accountability and transparency to homeowners associations. Some of that didn't get passed over into condos. So we're looking to make sure we get that aspect of it cleaned up. Want to clean up some disclosure things that are within there, and perhaps even bring some of the smaller associations which were excluded underneath the legislation as well, so that when you're writing a contract as an agent, you need to know who's going to fill out that transfer form. And if you don't have that information, you don't have the ability to do it. And if the property owner may or may not even know, because their association's so small, they just draft their dues or they pay them in their monthly payment and it gets taken out of their escrow account. They have no idea what's going on. And so getting every association registered within a database that functions well so that people can identify that's what HOA 2.0 looks like, and bringing all them together. It's just cleanup, really.
Being one harmonious family.
So. Absolutely. So much time fighting that bill to get things passed. The last time we really had some ugly counter members, not our members, but some associations that were battling against us and saying a lot of mistruths about the legislation. So we're looking to get it cleaned up this time. Get some stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. The hot button item that we've obviously been dealing with, especially with the rate of appreciation that's been going on over the past, several years, but last couple of years, is property tax reform. It doesn't matter what price point you're at or where you live in the state of Texas. I mean, that's been an increasingly growing burden on affordability factors. So what does that look like? Because I know there's a lot of conversation going on right now in session about what property tax reform will actually look like.
So we don't know exactly what property tax reform will look like in this session. We have a couple of ideas. The governor has made this one of his 7 priority legislative agenda items, which means they can do that now.
Yeah.
I don't know if many people know how the legislature actually functions, but up until March 10th, the only things that can be discussed in committee, the only things that can go, bill items that can go before a vote on the floor are the governor's legislative agenda items. And he only had 7. Property tax reform was one of those. They want property tax relief for property owners. The one thing that they're looking at, which is about a $13 billion ticket item, would be raising the homestead exemption to $70,000. It's currently at 40, raising that to $70,000. Again, that the bill to the taxpayers is about $13.2 billion on that. But that comes from the surplus, because we had a sales tax surplus of $32 billion coming into this session. Now they're looking at distributing some of that towards it. One thing that people are really asking for is not just homestead exemption property tax reform, because your rental properties are getting out of hand with property taxes. They don't get to take advantage of the exemption. That gets passed on to the tenant, driving rents higher and higher and higher. And, where are we with this whole thing called housing affordability, where we just drive into an area that we can't control expenses? So perhaps tax reform is going to take some sort of road where even commercial property, rental property, other properties can take advantage of some property tax relief as well. We're just waiting to see what that looks like. That's one of those things that we follow like crazy all session long.
No, that's fantastic. Now, Sherry Fearbarker did chime in and say, please say you have all the answers, Marcus. Need to get this under control for homeowners throughout the state. And Marcus, just a little tidbit, that is my mother. That is my business partner.
Well, then I will give all the answers that I have to Ms. Sherry. But the solution, as we said, we wait to see what that's going to look like. But passing it on to as many different property owners as we can, really getting that $70,000 homestead exemption doesn't even keep up with the rate of appreciation for tax values, because we have seen over the last 2 years 33% statewide, a 33% increase in property tax, our median sales price. It's just the median sales price. But you talk about an area like, I'll refer back to Austin or even the Metroplex, Collin County, where y'all have had such dramatic appreciation in property values. $30,000 on your homestead exemption over the course of 10 years, when that actually gets up to where it belongs, it doesn't keep up. So
no, it doesn't. And it's not going to happen in one session, like Sherry chimed in and said. Just like you have you have policy that you want to see that's adopted, and it's taken 10 years for you. And we just have to continuously keep our foot on the gas on these issues that are not only affecting our industry, but we're obviously huge proponents for individual property owners' rights. And that's what we're here for. It's not just about sales. It's about advocating for the industry and homeowners alike. So let's touch on one more, because it goes back into something that's a little interesting. It has to do with trending, I think, what sales had done in the marketplace and kind of scooping up and land grab. But this foreign buyers bill, we actually touched on it at the last one, because it does have a big place in regards to investment property as well. So talk about what that one looks like.
So we have 4 bills currently filed, and you have to understand that, again, before March 10th, nothing can be discussed in committee. Nothing can be voted on the floor. It's all in a holding pattern until March 10th. And at that point in time, they can start to have these hearings. The foreign buyers bills are looking to prohibit buyers from particular countries or buyers from other countries, period, from buying large tracts of agricultural land, property, period. And then you have these different levels of those buyers, where it's the government. So the Chinese government buying property. These bills are saying, no, the Chinese government cannot buy property, which most people probably agree with that, right?
Right.
I mean, you're talking about the interest of national security. And then you have other levels all the way down to individuals. And one of the proposed bills would actually say individuals cannot buy property in Texas, period, if they are a Chinese citizen. And that really is of great concern to our members, to the public. It goes against the code of ethics. It goes against fair housing. There's so much that's wrong with it. So we do oppose this bill. And it's an example. We bring a lot of great legislation forward during the session, but we also take the opportunity to say, you know what, that's a bad bill, and we're going to go against it. And our objective overall is to help pass good legislation. And with this particular type of bill, we can say we oppose it, but we also have to come to the table, because if we just flat out say, no, we're not going to do it, and by the way, we hate you now, we no longer have a seat at the table. We can't be part of the solution. So we seek to be part of the solution when we can.
No, I think it's fantastic. And I think there's a lot of people. I feel like I was tree pack chair locally for like 72 years, just like you. You were recycled, so was I. I just kept on. Nobody wanted to virtually fundraise. Imagine that, Marcus.
But we still
But
had a record year that year.
we did. So, I mean, that's the case, is understanding what we do and why we do it. And it's not just today, it's 2, 5, 10 years down the road, whether it's our industry. We're homeowners as well, and just making sure that we protect that. And like you said, abide by the code of ethics that have been set and upon us, and consistently just having a voice. I think the voice is the biggest thing. People don't understand. I know there's a lot of things that are going on right now. Conversations about, who we support, or candidates that we engage. That's a good term. If somebody is not willing to answer the phone when we call, so that we can have a conversation with them to say, hey, there's some issues here. And here's what our perspective is, to maybe reshape the conversation. I think that's the biggest thing that I learned being a part of TreePack was, and I know the big moniker right now is Purple Solution, right? It's not red. It's not red. It's not blue. But we have to be solution oriented, and we have to be able to have ears that will listen to our position. So that's huge. Well, let's go into something else that we can do then, which is we've got Realtor Day at the Capitol coming up, and that's another opportunity for us to engage in person, our elected officials. So what is Realtor Day at the Capitol, Marcus?
Realtor Day at the Texas Capitol. We used to call them Hill Visits. We still call them Hill Visits in Washington, D.C., but this is our big day when you will come. Hopefully, all of you will come. Contact your local association and say, hey, I want to go. Get me there. Because Metro Tech, I think, is bringing, you have at least 4 buses.
We have a lot of buses, and I'll be on one.
You'll only be on one?
I'll only be on one. I can only be on one at a time.
And so on the way home, do y'all tend to have what they call continuing education opportunities?
We might have continuing education opportunities that our affiliates are going to help sponsor. I mean, who knows? It's a long day, but it's a fun day.
It's a very fun day, but it's a very practical and it's a very important day, because we will come together as hopefully about 5,000 Texas Realtor members coming to the Capitol. I'll be honest with you. We have the best lobby team in the state.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you talk to. I talk to other lobbyists from other associations, and they say, man, your lobby team is the best. I just can't keep up with them. I idolize them. We try to work with them, and they still run circles around us. But our lobby team, as good as it is, could never compare to a local member coming and walking into their representative's office on Realtor Day saying, these are the things that are important to Texas realtors, and I, as your constituent, are bringing that to you. Or better yet, you have 30 more or less local state reps within your boundaries of Metro Tech. If you had 30 people from every one of those people's districts walk into their office during Realtor Day and say, hey, these are the issues that are important to us.
Yeah.
Carries so much more weight than our lobby team. They want to hear from you, the person who elected them to office. That's what's so key and so important to Realtor Day. And it's not just Realtor Day at the Capitol this year. It's also our Riding with the Brand Day.
Yep.
Kenny Parcell, our NAR president, is going to be here. Also, President-elect Tracy Casper is coming, and they're going to be a part of our Realtor Day celebration, and they're going to talk about riding with the brand and what it means to be a realtor as you go through the Capitol on that day. So come March 22nd, be on the South Lawn at 9:30 a.m., ready to go. You got a chance to win a Harley-Davidson motorcycle that's all tricked out in realtor stuff. It's really neat. It's going to be a great opportunity. And then don't forget, walk across the street for lunch. We have a barbecue lunch at your building on the corner of 12th and San Jacinto. This is the Texas Realtors building. We're open for tours with the barbecue lunch. Don't carry your lunch into I'm just kidding. But if you've never been to the Texas Capitol or to the Texas Realtors building, walking into Travis Kessler's office that's on the corner of 12th and San Jacinto and looks over at the Capitol. It's just amazing. And you can see the power that we hold as a lobby group there in Austin. Just come be a part of it and have an opportunity to see your building, because it is your building. So you should go and see it.
I think that's amazing, because this is a member-run organization at every level. And we've got the link for MetroTex. If you are one of our members and want to sign up, we would love to have you. And we actually even made it a budgetary item last minute that everything was free about it. So the bus ride is free, the lunch is free. It's that important that our members attend this. So you might have to be at the bus at 5 a.m., but everybody else is going to be tired as well. And it's just a great opportunity to sit there and get involved. I will tell you a little story, because I know we're going to talk about leadership here in a minute. I did the Texas Realtors Leadership Program, TRLP. I was heavyweight class 28. So we were the last in-person class before COVID. And so that was 2018 to 2019. And I know I can speak for a lot of my colleagues that were in that class. When we went to the Capitol and we did our overnight and sat there and listened to elected officials, listened to our lobby team, and really got to understand, and went into Travis Kessler's office and got to see that beautiful view and take a picture. It really brought everything full circle. And I'm going to be honest, I was not a major investor until I witnessed that myself. And immediately a light bulb went off, and I'm like, what am I doing? I've been in the industry now for, a ton of years. I told you I'm going on 2 decades. And it took me that long to realize that that investment is so key. And then also the pride that goes into that and being a major investor in our business. So, for those of you that have not done TRLP and have had that experience through that program, this is your experience to be had. And I really implore all of you to do it. And if you sign up, I don't know, we'll figure out something. We'll figure out some MetroTex swag or anything else. You reach out to me and say you signed up tonight because of this show with myself and Marcus, then we'll figure out a cool bonus option or something else for you. I don't know. Like you said, the fun continuing education. I don't know. We'll look at what that looks like.
Well, I need some cool MetroTex swag.
Okay, I can hook you up.
I have no MetroTex swag. So especially with your new logo.
Isn't it great?
Your new branding is amazing. And I love the way that it goes across everything, your commercial, everything that you have. It's so cross-branded. It's fabulous.
Yep, we are very lucky, and we've had actually Taylor Walchick, who's our immediate past president. He put together a task force a couple of years ago to do the rebranding. Luckily, I was one of the few people that was on that, and it was probably one of the coolest things we have done in a long time. And not just because it's a logo, but that is representative of who we are locally, and we're exceptionally proud of it. So thank you, Marcus.
Yeah, I was on the Texas Realtors rebranding, which brought you this logo.
It might not be as cool as ours, but we like it.
Great experience. Yeah. I do have my article that's coming out in the next Texas Realtors magazine is about Realtor Day, and it's actually about my first experience at Realtor Day. And the underlying premise of it is, it sounds like a drag. Why do I want to go to the Capitol and talk to people? But once you go to Realtor Day, you'll never miss another Realtor Day. It will be the highlight of your career and will open your eyes to what Texas Realtors truly does. And it's amazing.
Well, I think that's a fantastic segue, because, not all PR that we get is good PR from our lovely Realtor members. And that's understandable, because some people just don't know and they're not informed. So what I would like to talk about for a couple of minutes, and maybe longer than a couple of minutes, we'll see how it goes, is, where do our association dues go? I mean, that's the biggest thing. Every time when it gets closer to billing cycle, we're all a member of those Facebook groups or those chat forums, and everybody's sitting there and saying, our dues don't go to anything. And so, we're going to put, I don't know if we're going to be able to put the graphic on the screen, but whether it's the graphic on the screen or in the chat, but Marcus, kind of talk to us about look at that.
Look at the graphic on the screen.
Yes, the graphic on the screen. So talk to us about where our dues go and how those are kind of divided.
Sure. So we have your fees to Texas Realtors, your dues and assessments are $152 a year. This is the best $152 a year that you invest in your business, because you look at what you get for it. You have a big cost at the top, 30%, which goes to our administrative costs. Only 30% of your dues dollars go towards salaries and everything else. And we have 70 plus employees with Texas Realtor. So it's huge. And we have a beautiful building right in the heart of downtown Austin. Marketing for Texas Realtors, which includes your Texas Realtors magazine. That's 14% of your dues dollars, $21.32 goes towards marketing. And that also includes our work with a Texas Realtor brand, which we've actually incorporated into the That's Who We Are campaign. Working that through meeting planning, 7%, $10, everybody's budget goes towards conferences and winter meetings and different things like that. A big chunk and the largest section of all of it goes to our advocacy, and you link that back to Realtor Day and things that we do. But we spend $57 of your dues dollars advocating for different things that we work with at the Texas Capitol, and that goes, again, not red, not blue, but the purple solution for Texas. This is our unparalleled advocacy for all property owners in the state of Texas, supporting friendly legislation and opposing bad legislation, like we talked about before. A very, very key part of what we do comes from that. The best bang for your buck within Texas Realtors is the $14.21 that goes to legal. This is the legal hotline. Where else can you call an attorney and say, hey, I think I screwed up. Can you help me? No, I can't help you, but I can direct you in that area where you can. I'm not going to be your attorney, but a great place to just pick up the phone and call the Realtor hotline. And these calls are answered really quickly now.
Yes, they are.
It used to be you would go into a queue, you'd get called back later. I think our average hold time is under a minute. I mean, it's fabulous. The real estate commissions is too, by the way. We've
improved.
Way down. It used to be hours, and now it's very, very quick. But also within this 9% of the budget that goes to legal is our forms. The number one resource that we provide, that we hear over and over from our members, is forms. Thank you for our forms. We include digital ink in that to every member as a part of your dues dollars. We don't charge extra for that. So it's just different ways that we can continue to support our members through the forms, and we continue to introduce new forms to help. Danny probably talked about last week that they're totally revamping the property management section forms,
which is great.
Lots going on there. Danny's a fabulous member, by the way. I hope he's listening today, because he is truly one of our champions for property management.
Absolutely, he is.
Yeah, but so much that we have that comes through, and that includes, code of ethics enforcement too. So
thank you for that's a great breakdown, because everybody has probably different passions in different areas of our business. And so that just shows how diverse and how we chop up the association dues. And so that's great. And just getting that visual, Marcus, I think is super helpful for the average member to understand where that goes. Some other things that I want to talk about really quickly in regards to what we do to provide that additional value is member benefits. You talked about digital ink. And so we strategically partner with ancillary companies and resources to be able to provide not necessarily free, but subsidized or really competitive plans for different things that we can offer our members specifically. So you want to touch on a couple of those that I think are really awesome new hot button items for our members that might not be aware.
Yeah, you bet. Our newest one is a product called Everlance, which I have not actually tried it out myself, but
I don't even know what this is.
Tracker.
What is this?
So it's a mileage tracker and tax, find my tax deduction assets.
Okay.
And it's one that our member benefits committee rolled out at winter meeting, and they're super excited about it. You probably have gotten 2 or 3 emails about this in the last week to 10 days.
Okay.
But look for Everlance. Again, forms and e-sign and legal hotline. Those are some of our biggest ones. Market viewer, the market stats that you have available to you through Market Viewer. This is one of our most robust and least utilized resources that we have. If you have not done it, go to texasrealestate.com, sign in, and click on the research tab, click on market viewer so that you can dig in. And you actually, if you work within a specific neighborhood or you work within a specific zip code, you can get stats that are beyond anything that anybody else is going to bring to the table when you go to compete for that listing, or when you're representing that buyer. You're going to know, in this zip code, the list to sales price ratio is this, the average price per square foot is this, the price has declined this much over the last 6 months. Just what you want to know, it's all there in Market Viewer. Take advantage of that.
Hey, Marcus, I just want to chime in real quick because I'm pretty sure Bass Realty is Cindy Bass, one of our trusted tree pack trustees. Cindy Bass at the state level, a fantastic educator, trainer. She is a broker, an independent broker in the DFW area. She serves on the board, and she's also a friend. She said, hey.
Hey, Cindy Bass.
Yes. And she's also our vice chair to forms and contracts, which Sherry, my mom, is the chair. So, we got some good representation here, but she said she just downloaded, I think, the Everlance apps and loves it so far. So great to have somebody that is entrenched in our industry, utilizing those member benefits and speaking to it. So look all this love in the chat.
I love the Cindy Bass.
Yes, love the Cindy Bass.
Yeah, and it's I'm thank you for that feedback, Cindy. I will share that with our member benefits team, because that was something they were super excited about rolling out. Good. And we have one more big benefit we rolled out this year.
Could it be health insurance, Marcus?
It's not health insurance. Well, it's health insurance like.
Okay, yes, I used the wrong terminology, so fix it for me.
We can't call it health insurance because
it
is not an insurance agency, but it is a member health care benefit.
Got it.
It is a Blue Cross Blue Shield PPO plan through a company called CapCare. And if you go to the Texas Realtors website and you type in CapCare, it's going to give you a phone number. And we want you to call that phone number, and they are going to talk you through the process. What we have learned from our members in feedback, some members are saving $700-800 a month. Some of them, it was more expensive than their current plan, so they stuck with what they had in Marketplace. But for many of our members, we are finding this is a hugely valuable tool. So, and you can use it for your personal assistants. You can use it for, your office support staff, anything you have, even local association staff can utilize it as well. But this is a program that we have fought tooth and nail for years, to be able to provide a member healthcare benefit to our members who are independent contractors who otherwise may not be able to get health insurance at a reasonable rate. It's here, and it's coverage as if you went to work at the school district and got on their Blue Cross program tomorrow. There's a curing period. You have to wait 30 days, and then it starts on the first day of the month after your 30-day waiting period is over. But otherwise, hugely competitive and readily available health insurance to members through this member health benefit.
That is the right terminology. Member health benefit. I stepped in it, but I appreciate you helping me reframe it, Marcus, because I will say, I think I had told you that we had some members that reached out. I had one that said, oh my gosh, it saved us several $100s on our family plan, and it was fantastic. And then another member reached out and said, hey, unfortunately, because of the prescription side of things for what somebody needed, they wouldn't approve the current prescription that they have, which is very instrumental in them breathing. And so they said, but CapCare was fantastic. The level of customer service and answering the questions and giving clear ideas of what the benefits were. And then they even said, unfortunately, we're probably not the right fit. So stay with your current plan. And so that was refreshing, that there was even just clarity in the process of going through that. So either way, look into it. And I think that's absolutely amazing. Now, Johnny Moad, who is Secretary Treasurer this year, and one of my partners in crime, he said MD Lives through NAR is one of his favorite benefits, learned about during COVID for more routine stuff, AKA telehealth. I think that's the best thing to understand, is that our member benefits are not necessarily always centered around real estate based benefits. they're there for the benefit of just the person, our average member. And we're always looking at those things, because you guys brought that up at the 360 meetings last year, asking, is this really what you want to see? And if it is, then we'll keep pushing. But I thought that was fantastic that you were going back to the members to see if this was a benefit that they really needed. And it overwhelmingly was.
Yes. Every room had at least 70% of people raise their hands.
Well, and I think the biggest thing that I heard, because of the average age of a Realtor member, and everything else, was pre-existing conditions and different things like that. And so from that side, it's very friendly. There are no exclusions on the pre-existing side, which was huge. So just understand, I'm just giving a plug, because obviously healthcare member benefit, I don't know if that's the term, but it is not a one size fits all for everyone. But you guys did a great job fleshing that out and trying to figure out the best program possible. So
that was a big process.
Yep. But it's well worth it. So you know what? Let's do something else for a couple minutes, because I just brought up 360, and I did bring up 360. It's like I segued on intentionally. So what is this 360 meeting, and what can we look forward to learning?
So Texas Realtors 360 Insights is what it's labeled. So when you see that coming through your email from Texas Realtors, you'll know that's what it is. This is a mini conference in your town. We come to you, and we do 8 of these throughout the state every year. 9. We do 9 of these throughout the state every year. But we bring Texas Realtors to you for a day. Your day this year, regions 3, 4, and 12, which is the entire Metroplex, is April 11th. And we will be at the new, does somebody have a new building? I don't know. Is that one amazing, fabulous building that y'all have up there on the interstate?
It might be a 40,000 square foot, beautiful new building that is open to everyone and all in the state of Texas. And we are excited to host that 360.
Yeah, it is. We're really looking forward to being there. I had the opportunity to see your building before it officially opened. Shh, don't tell anybody. We did have permission. But really looking forward to come and spending that time with you. We will bring information much like today, just with so much more to go to it, and your entire active leadership team will be there. Russell Berry, of course, our immediate past chair, is a member, Metrotex past president, one of my best buddies, but look forward to being with him. Thank you, Cindy, for dropping that in there. The healthcare member benefit program just got dropped into the chat, but that's where you can go for that, Anita, and thank you for asking. But yeah, we look forward to seeing you there in your area on April the 11th, and come sign up. It's cheap, if not free, to attend this event, and we sit and we chat.
It's a subsidized cost, not as free as my husband would say, free 99. With the free, yes, he said he loves free 99. I know. My husband grew up in East Texas. I have a lot of these isms, Marcus. So that's one of them, but it is a very low cost. I think it's, something around $20 or $25. And that includes, lunch and being able to have our captive audience of our Texas leadership, because that again, going back to the member healthcare benefit, you guys were saying, okay, speak to us. I mean, what questions do you have? What do we need to take back to the consultants and the people that we're talking to? And overwhelmingly, it was the pre-existing, the age, the everything else. And so it's a great opportunity to get, super hyper local for you guys to be our advocates at the state level. So we are excited. We would love to have you. When those signups go out, though, understand that it is limited attendance. We wanted to make sure it was a comfortable seating for all. So I think it's 208 is going to be our limitation on guests. So make sure that you keep an eye out and sign up if that is something that you want to attend. But we were excited to be great hosts. And Marcus, hopefully that you get to spend more time in our building going
Absolutely. And the thing that I love the most about the 360s is we start every session off with what's on your mind.
Yep.
And it is open mic. Come up to the mic and ask a question. And I hope folks will take advantage of that today. If there's something you want to know that we haven't talked about yet, throw it in the chat. And it's called Stump the Chairman. That's what I like to refer to it as. So if you can trip up the chairman on a question you're asking today, I'll do my best to answer that for you. But
we should put that on a graphic T-shirt, because I'm a big graphic T-shirt person. I wear one to the gym all the time, depending on what my attitude is. And so I think Stump the Chairman. I mean, go to the grocery store. Somebody's like, "What's Stump the Chairman?" I mean, what a great icebreaker. Maybe I'll do that for you with a Metrotex logo. I don't know.
I hope so.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
I don't have any swag. I've been looking for FedEx since we got on the phone.
We'll figure that out. So, amazing. I knew it would be painless. We've already gone in, 45 minutes in, and we've got 15 minutes left. And so I think a good thing to segue into would be, the threats to our industry, because that's super important to talk about. There are a lot of things going on, but I think that the thing not top of mind, but that we need to discuss is the NAR lawsuit with the DOJ. And there was a ruling that came down not too long ago that's not the end all be all. But maybe you can talk about that just a little bit.
You bet. So there are multiple lawsuits that NAR is engaged in, but the one with the Department of Justice, they were coming to us saying you are not engaging in transparency with the public and the way that that agents are paid and sellers are paying buying agents commissions, and you're not disclosing this, and it's not all out there. So they 2+ years back gave us 4 things that we had to do. One, you got to disclose how much a buyer's agent is being paid in the MLS, and it has to be public information. And they had that along with 3 other things, and NAR said, fine, we can do that. And we actually went through a board meeting, passed these 4 things that had to come through. And Johnny, of course, was a key part of that in his role in the MLS committee with NAR. But we got all the disclosures and everything that they wanted passed. And the Department of Justice says, you know what?
Change your minds.
We got that right. We're going to pull back on this deal that we made with you. And what happened about a month ago was that the federal court said, you know what, Department of Justice, you can't do that. Just because you're the government, you cannot renege on a deal that you made. And this is not just a handshake deal. This was a contract. This is what you have to do to remedy this situation, and we'll go away. We remedied the situation, and they pulled back the deal. So the court ruled in our favor and said, you cannot do that. This is over and done with. The caveat to the over and done with part of this little lawsuit is they can come back to us again with something else.
Sure.
They always want to come after us in our business model, which we know is the right model, the hugely successful model, especially for homeowners and home buyers. It's the most fair way that we can do business, as long as we disclose what we're doing. Agents, please never tell a buyer that your services are free. Because you don't work for free. You are going to get paid. Your fee is most likely going to be paid by the seller, but please use a buyer representation agreement and go through that step where it says, this is how I'm going to get paid for my services, but I am going to provide you with professional services, and I will be paid like a professional. And just make sure that they understand that, and you have followed the rules. That's what you're called to do. So that's the big one that we finally got rid of. There are a few more lawsuits that are lingering out there that are still based on the same concept with clear cooperation, and they have advanced to a class action lawsuit in Missouri. And this, what they're going after is they are enlisting the class of sellers who didn't know that they were paying a buyer's agent at the same time as they were paying the listing agent. They, in fact, have a contract with the listing agent to pay the listing agent what they're supposed to pay them, and that the listing agent compensates the buyer's agent. That's great. So that's the lawsuit. The big one that is continuing is that one, which has become class action. We interestingly have MLSs in the country who have gone to a non-buyer representation pay system where they no longer put in the MLS how much they're going to pay. And if you have a buyer representation agreement, it works one way. And this is going on in the Seattle area for your information.
Yep.
But the model is interesting. They are still compensating. They're just doing it a little bit differently in the disclosure process. But our system is, if you utilize it, it's perfect, especially if you use a buyer representation agreement and you have that conversation with your buyer. Yes, I am a professional. Yes, I am going to get paid. You're just going to pay that in the cost of what you pay to the seller.
Well, and Marcus, I think the biggest thing is just education. Okay, Sherry, what'd you say? Our forms and contracts seem quite clear in explaining fees and who pays. Are other states' forms lacking?
Our forms are superior in every way. Superior.
Yep. So Marcus did have the answer in that one, Sherry. we are superior in how that's done, because I think the education piece or the dialogue piece, and for some agents, it's a little more difficult to have those critical upfront conversations. But when I talk to my clients, we're looking at the big picture of cost of acquisition as a buyer. The seller might offer what the compensation in which I charge, to perform my duties to represent you. If the seller does not, I will inform you as to what your responsibility is, but understand that seller might also be underpricing their home. They might be offering concessions in another way. We need to be looking at this as a big pie, just like you did with our dues and how that's broken up. Okay, so maybe you're having to compensate me because the seller's not willing to do it and such, but you get a phenomenal deal that's under market value. That's still advantageous to you, and it still works out. I think it's just a lack of that dialogue opportunity up front with somebody being able to have that. But we're seeing the education. I know Metro Texas having that and teaching classes on having to have those critical conversations. So we just need to continue to do a better job, but our forms are superior, as Marcus said. So we'll continue to allow you guys to keep us apprised of what's going on there.
And NAR is fighting every step of the way. NAR is fighting, and they will win. We will be triumphant in these cases.
Well, I love that. And that again goes to where our dues go on the local, state, and national level for us to be able to fight these lawsuits, to be able to practice, is huge. And taking that back down to a local level, Marcus, we were able to at the Metro Tex level enact our TRIP committee. So yes, I know. So we've got a few minutes left, and I think that would be a great kind of ending point and a segue on that side. So what is the TRIP? We love our acronyms in the real estate world, but what is the TRIP? What is the TRIP committee itself, and how has that benefited an association like Metro Tex?
So, the TRIP committee is now actually a PAC, which was part of the initiation from the name change, but this has always been known as Issues Mobilization.
Yep.
And we have a similar committee at NAR, which is the State and Local Issues Mobilization Group. If a state or local association needs help in fighting a local ordinance or supporting a local ordinance, they can go to the Issues Mobilization Committee, which now we call the Texas Realtors Issues PAC, hence TRIP. Shout out to Cameron Willman from Midland, our chairman. But you guys tapped this quite well in trying to fight this eviction thing that you have going on there in Dallas. And what the heck are they thinking? Pay your rent, get out of my house. This is a problem. But if a local association like Metro Tex or any local association has something coming up, they can come to our Issues Mobilization Committee, our TRIP, and say, hey, we need money to fight this. This is our plan. Help us to do it. We often see help us support this issue. We are trying to we need help supporting a bond issue, or we need help with this or that. Yep. Texas does not do bonds, NAR does, but how can we help our local politicians understand what we have going on? Your issue with the evictions is a big one. In the Hill Country, we have been battling and helping the Central Hill Country Association battle a
Short-term
short-term
rentals.
rentals
Yeah.
ordinance that they're trying to get through there. It is spreading like wildfire through the Hill Country. It's starting to hit Kerrville. It's coming to Blanco. So we realize that we're going to be fighting that on multiple fronts. Not certain that's something that we can deal with on a state level. It would be nice to have a one-size-fits-all type of legislation, but we just don't think we can do it in a way that works for everyone. We did work to support a short-term rentals issue in Galveston several years ago, and their platform works great for Galveston. But what do you do when downtown Fredericksburg is surrounded by these historical homes that people are buying and turning into Airbnbs, and it's a challenge. So
yeah, no, it absolutely is. So yes, Realtor Day at the Capitol, and then the 360 meeting. So those are the two days. So the one in April is 360 though. So the big thing for us is just understanding that I think sometimes members need to realize that our dollars are fighting behind the scenes occasionally. And until you need to enact such resources, you don't understand what it's doing for us. And these eviction moratoriums, these leasing and property management legislative issues, when one area decides that this is a good policy, then the other areas, like you said, spreading like wildfire, there's no new idea. It's wash, rinse, and repeat, and then we're going to institute something similarly. The short-term rentals is running rampant in the North Texas area as well, and that's something that we're constantly looking at and been battling for years. But guys, this is where your money is working for you while you are sleeping, and I think that's what's so exciting to know that you don't have to be the one sitting there on the front lines fighting it by yourself. And we appreciate Texas Realtors being there and helping us carry the torch with these legislative policies that are coming in the North Texas area, specifically in Dallas. So our fight is not over, but at least we don't have to fight it alone. And I think that's kind of, the end piece that people need to understand. So Marcus, we have 4 minutes. You're almost off the hook, but you've been great, and nobody has stumped you. And so
I know.
I know.
I'm waiting. So one thing that many of your members may have seen, because I know you have members in Parker County,
yes.
The one that we did 4 years ago was the forced annexation campaign.
Yeah.
That was another one of our big issues and mobilization initiatives, where we made it so you can no longer be forced into annexation. Voters have to vote it in. No city can just take property or take sections of the county into their city limits anymore. They have to bring it to the voters to decide. That was a huge win for our Issues Mob group.
Well, that, and then I know we kind of rest on our laurels sometimes, but I think it's the big ticket items where people need to understand how much impact we bring to the table. The transfer tax on real estate. I mean, that was a huge one. It was, quite a bit ago. But there are other states in our nation that when you sell real estate, that there is a very high transfer tax that is paid. New Jersey's one of them, which is where I grew up. And there's like a 10% transfer tax when you exchange real estate.
Can you imagine? 10%? It's insane.
10% is huge.
My brother, I referred him when he sold his home in Charlotte, North Carolina, referred him to an agent, and I was looking through the settlement statement for him, and I said, "Oh boy, you have a transfer fee on your real estate." And I was talking to his agent, and I said, "Do you know we just passed a constitutional item that banned a transfer tax on the sale of real estate?" And she could not believe it. She said, "We could never do that." I said, "Oh yeah, you can."
Just mobilize. Yes. Get your realtors and together. Yeah. And yes, transfer tax is a hill to die on, Cherry, because think about that. Even if you're just looking at a $400,000 home, that's a $40,000. You want to talk about, that's crippling. So no, that's what our leadership and our associations, local, state, and national, have been able to do for us. And specifically at the state level, we've had so many great wins, and you guys are still sitting there and fighting for us. Yes, as Cindy said, Texas can show you how.
That's right. Exactly. We will show you how.
Yes, we will show you how. So Marcus, we have 2 minutes left. And we want to be appreciative of your time. So is there any closing remarks that you would like to impart on our viewership this evening?
You bet. Absolutely. September 7th through the 10th in the beautiful city of San Antonio. We have our Texas Realtors Shaping Texas Conference. Please plan to be there. This is the pinnacle event that we have every year for our members. Come down to San Antonio. It's at the Grand Hyatt on the Riverwalk at the Convention Center. You've got quick access to great food, great nightlife, great everything, along with the high quality education that we bring to all our conferences. You can see the inner workings of Texas Realtors. Get in there and engage. And please, please, please engage. And it starts local. Call MetroTex and say, I just heard Marcus and he said, I really need to be engaged with MetroTex in some way or another. Can you plug me into a committee? Absolutely. We're going to plug you into a committee and you're going to get to work and you're going to fall in love with association volunteer leadership. And you're going to wind up in Ashley's chair one of these days, serving as the next chairman, president.
Sure, president. Either way, chairman, president. I'll do both.
Leader of MetroTex Association of Realtors, and you're going to be awesome. So engage. We need you. We need your expertise and what you can bring to the volunteer leaders of the state.
Yeah, you know what? And on that footnote, feel free to go on our website. I think it's mymetrotex.com. And you can look on there and find any of our contact information. Reach out to me personally on Facebook, carrier pigeon, email, whatever you can find. Feel free to text message me, but would love for any member that wants to get plugged in. We will find a home for you. And I think that's the biggest thing, because we want you to catch the bug for servant leadership, because without you, this industry doesn't survive. And so Marcus, thank you for leading by example and being a servant leader and continuing on to champion for individual property owners' rights, to champion for realtors, and to be our chairman of Texas Realtors. And we will welcome you soon to MetroTex. I will get you some swag, and I will see you soon.
All right.
Thanks, okay. Ashley. Thank everyone.
Bye, everybody. Bye.